All right, something else that might be news to Mark, and that is our guy Henry Cavill wants a cameo in Black Adam. So it's not just Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that wants him in Black Adam; it's Superman himself. I think this is yet another encouraging sign that the Snyderverse could live on. I think if Henry Cavill's Superman appears in Black Adam, that's a good sign. Dwayne Johnson, very pro Snyderverse. John, you're shaking your head. What?
I don't like what's the end game though? Like, so there's going to be a literal multiverse. There's going to be a Snyderverse where all the stuff is taking place, and then and Ben Affleck is still Batman, and there's going to be a whole different route that all this, the DC Comics universe is in as well. Like, where do people think this is going to go?
Marco, where do you think it's going to go? What do you think about this?
Why not have a familiar face? Henry Cavill is a perfect Superman and a Clark Kent. And the fact that Dwayne wants him, fucking give it to him. Are you kidding me? Why not?
I mean, if Dwayne wants him, Dwayne gets him.
Yeah. And again, DC has established itself through multiple outlets of the multiverse, and that there's different versions. Things can look like themselves or not. Why not include him? Dwayne wants him. He's going to happen, right? The fans want him, so why not put him in there? Does he have to be Snyder's version necessarily for Ann Sarnoff? I don't know. I'm sure you can fucking spin it however you want, and you can have it come out the way that's happy for you as a producer. But fact of the matter is, Henry Cavill, Superman, fantastic. Put him in there? Absolutely. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson and Henry Cavill on screen? Give it to me. I'm in. Lock, stock, loaded, nerdgasm. Give it. I'm just throwing it out there. Nerdgasms all over the place.
Where do you stand on restoring the Snyderverse versus not doing that, Mark?
I could take it.
Wow. What the fuck does that mean, dude?
I'm a glutton for just any content. Not gonna lie, dude. I'm not gonna lie. I don't give a shit. All right. I like DC Comics. I like it how they package it. I like it if they do it one version, another version. I kind of just fucking soak it up. I'm not gonna. No shame in the game. All right. So whether it's Snyderverse or they end up taking a new stab and they use the same character, the fact is, I don't see why they can't use the same actors to do the characters again. There's no reason not to.
I don't see
whether it's the Snyderverse exactly or just use Gal Gadot or Ben Affleck.
They already aren't doing that. They are already recasting Batman. Like, they're headed down a different path right now as we speak. So
show it to me. I'm in.
Prove it.
More content. I'm in.
Well, they're already trying to do like that other Superman stuff like that, which seems like it's
want my money, and I'm happy to give it.
All right, Mark's enjoying the kegerator, but John, you brought up the Batman, and I think this might exist in a different timeline. But you bring up a good point that they've already recast another Batman. It's not Batfleck, but from the early years of the detective Batman, we are getting Robert Pattinson playing him, and this comes from Geekosity and some very positive reports coming out this. And the Batman's been sort of plagued with issues, seemingly, if you're to believe the rumors, and having to stop down production and things like that. But the reports coming out here is that Warner Brothers is ecstatic with how the Batman is looking. It's drawing comparisons to the Dark Knight trilogy in terms of its intensity and adult nature. Secondly, executives praise Pattinson's take on Batman. They feel his performance rivals Michael Keaton in his two movies. And that, to me, is high praise indeed, because Michael Keaton is still my favorite Batman of all time. John, you're grimacing. You are. What's wrong? Do you think this is just all spin?
Well, what are they supposed to say?
That's a fair point.
Are they really going to come out and be like, "Yeah, no, it's kind of trash"? Yeah.
I mean, but this isn't like this is two sources of Geekosity.
The fact that they didn't compare Christian Bale speaks volumes.
Yeah, they're like in production, currently in production, and you have executives come out and they're like, Yeah, no, Robert
What
Pattinson
volumes does it speak?
Christian Bale was the best Batman.
Okay,
Period.
That's your opinion, but that's what I wanted to get out of
an
you.
opinion. It's a fact. Christian Bale was the best Batman. He was way better than Michael Keaton.
Disagree.
Change my mind. You won't. And that Robert Pattinson did better than Christian Bale's farce, Michael Keaton's farce with Tim Burton and all the silliness going on in there.
What are you talking about?
Silly. It was fucking silly.
Schumacher was silly.
It's fine. It was. You know what? No lie. I like Schumacher. I like Schumacher's films, but Christian Bale was better than Keaton.
Okay, that's not the debate here. You just said it speaks volumes. I just wanted to get clarity on that.
Yeah,
I prefer Michael
better
Keaton.
than
You
Keaton.
prefer Christian Bale.
Cool.
Okay, it's still high praise. Do you dislike Michael Keaton?
He's all right.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm sold on him, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if I'm sold on him.
Ago, his sort of I could take it when asked about the SnyderVerse, and then just said I just eat it all up. And now we bring up Michael Keaton, and the original Batman movie, the Tim Burton Batman films, are so beloved, and you're just meh about them. Just eat it up.
You know, unpopular opinion. I think the Tim Burton Batman films a little overrated.
Wow, completely fucking disagree, dude.
Dude, little
I'm
overrated.
Disappointed in you, Mark.
I think there's
the guy that defends Battleship has the audacity to come at Tim Burton's.
Dude, it was just
Batman
like the board
movies.
game. It was just like the board game. All right. They had the little pegs. They landed on the ships.
God.
They called out the numbers. I'm just saying.
It was literally just a videotape of someone playing the board game.
Oh my God, Mark! I'm surprised at you. Go ahead.
It just feels like Warner Brothers is patting themselves on the back because there's nothing else that they can do. Like you have to hype this up. You have to try to convince people that this is going to be good.
You think that the source is being sort of worked in this sense that the executive's not being entirely truthful and it's just only saying these things to sort of clandestinely get the hype train. I'm not saying that happens all the time in a lot of different fields.
I'll walk it back a little bit. I don't know for sure that's what's happening. I think that's a possibility. I think it's a possibility that you know, it could be some young person who this is their first opportunity to be at Warner Brothers while Batman is happening. And they're just really excited and hype about that process. And, you know, maybe they're not aware of everything. And, you know, it is what it is. Like, I don't know what the source is, where it's coming from. And, you know, maybe it is going to be good. I'm going to give it a fair shake. I'll probably like it, but I don't like that they're doing it. Does that make sense?
I don't look at the Batman as an exclusion of Ben Affleck, though. I guess to me, the SnyderVerse can still live with the Batman.
It's not. I don't take it as a slight to Snyder. I take it as just it's so strange to me that you have Suicide Squad with a key character in the Joker being played by one guy, and then you release a movie called The Joker with another guy in the same 2-year span or whatever. And
I don't know
if
Batman,
just like
you
comics, there's multiple Batman comics. Above any other character, Batman and Superman, most notably, have multiple comics running any single year. And every now and then, maybe yearly, every other year, a redux of what they have releasing out into the populace in comic form. So there's always different stories and different trails that are trailing. So why not have different?
That has worked in comics. I think in film, it stands to be seen whether or not that works. You know.
I mean, but people loved the Joker.
They did.
God, he won an Oscar. It was very. It even convinced me, and I was opposed to the movie. They got me. It was very well done.
Did he win an Oscar?
He did.
For the Joker?
He did.
I don't recall that. Murray.
Well, who gives a shit about the Oscars anyway? They're
in the long run, though. Does that cheapen the character? Does that diminish the impact of that character?
I get what you're saying in this sense, is that DC, although I've liked a lot of the stuff that they've put out in their movies, there is the idea, this perception that there's a lack of cohesion. in their online universes, and we've discussed that at length. I think a lot of that is poor leadership from Ann Sarnoff and her ilk. I think no matter what, the Snyder movies are not perfect, but at least he had a clear laid out plan.
You know what it feels like to me? It's lack of cohesion, but also like, all right, like maybe we'll touch on Loki later. We just came out. And you see what the MCU does, and it's just consistently expanding outward, right? And granted, they're introducing the idea of the multiverse, and certainly we can see some repetitive things there, but it seems like they just continually explore new characters, and the universe becomes bigger and more vast, and you have crossovers between these characters. And whether you like it or not, it's an expansion and it's new stuff. Warner Brothers has taken the opposite approach, where they're like, let's just every 4 years just reboot the same shit, because we can't get it right. We just got to keep trying it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Let's just keep getting Batman's origin story in different ways. Let's just keep getting the Joker in completely different forms and looks and styles. Let's just keep rehashing the same storyline. Like, we can't see a new Batman villain. We can't expand on Ben Affleck as Batman. We can't we can't get more Superman movies. We can't, like, they're doing more Aquaman, right? But like,
they are.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we can't get a Martian Manhunter movie. We can't get give us more. Make the universe bigger. Don't just keep rehashing the same tiny little thing that you keep focusing on. That's
HBO Max, man.
I'm all for.
They need to do that. HBO Max needs to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, they've suggested some of that, and it sounds terrible. I have no faith in the Blue Beetle project. The idea that they're propping up Zatanna, like, that's going to be some great thing.
Zatanna's great.
I have no problem with the characters, but there's this idea out there that if you exist as a comic book character, that you're going to be a great film adaptation. And maybe that's because Guardians of the Galaxy was so successful that everybody thinks that if you even existed for a minute, that you can stand on your own. It's just not true. Punisher is one of my favorite comic book characters. He has trouble standing on his own in the comics. He has always peak sort of sales, and they usually plummet right after the fact. And he struggled in live action adaptations on his own. He was great in the Daredevil series, but so there's this idea out there that, because you're a comic book character, that you could carry your own series. I like Moon Knight. I think he's cool. I can't speak to any of his really major arcs. Do I think that Moon Knight necessarily deserves a series of movies or a television series? Not really. Maybe I'll be surprised and it's good. Like, I was surprised at how great Guardians of the Galaxy was, but also at the same time, maybe it won't be. There's also sort of a bit of a dilution. I think what I would rather see, John, to your earlier point, is find me a consistent Batman. Find me a Batman like Robert Downey Jr., who wanted to continue making Iron Man movies, or a Hugh Jackman that wanted to continue playing Wolverine, then expand that universe with more of the villains and just
with the same guy.
Play in that world. Yeah, sure. Like, continuity is king.
To be fair, though, with Robert Downey Jr., he had 3 Iron Man movies, of which 2 I think most of us will agree are shit.
I liked Iron Man.
And then he was just
Iron Man 3 is one of the worst. Iron Man 3 is the worst MCU movie when the MCU was still good.
Pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
Captain Marvel's the worst movie, and
just
so forth.
Cameoing in Justice League movies. I mean, there's not much difference with that happening on. Sorry. Yes.
But
there's not much else
cameoing.
He's
cameoing. He's one of the 2 leads with Cap. Yeah, I mean, they're very heavy Iron Man centric. There's no real argument to that. I mean, you can say that. You can talk through the kegerator if you wish, but those are the facts.
All right. Well, what are they doing with Ben Affleck then right now? Are they in production on a Batman movie with Ben Affleck, or are they in production on a Batman movie with some other fucking guy?
They're on a production with the Batman movie with some other guy. Michael Keaton's going to be Batman in the Flash movie.
That's what I'm saying. You're doing the movie. If you're doing a Joker movie, why wouldn't you have the guy that's currently playing Joker in a bunch of other movies that you have?
Because they wanted to make a different kind of Joker movie than what they were doing with Suicide Squad. I don't look at the Joker movie as being connected to the DC universe really at all, unless they make a shift and decide to. What?
That's stupid. It's stupid. I know it was a good movie. I get it, guys, but that's stupid. It's stupid. Can you? All right.
Have you seen what the DC universe is like, Murray?
I've seen it. If you want Joaquin Phoenix to be the Joker, then fire Jared Leto and get his ass in Suicide Squad 2. You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this?
The fact is, with different comic books, there's different styles of storytelling. Suicide Squad is typically a more pulpy, like grotesque action comedy, loose storytelling. If you want to go to
recast everyone in order to do that,
why not? I feel like it's worse to trap yourself with a certain actor and a certain portrayal for these kinds of characters when there's so many different storylines that are applicable to these kinds of characters.
But they don't revamp the character. Like, Batman is still Batman in all the Batman comics. I know, like, sometimes might have
he wears skates, sometimes he's super depressed.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, but it's always Batman, you know, unless it's somebody else wearing the hood. It's always Bruce Wayne, or wearing the cowl like that. I guess what I'm saying is, like, you're not reinventing Joker every time you see him in a comic. Maybe there's some slightly different stylings, or one is a little sillier or for a younger audience than others, but it's still the Joker. It can be the same actors in these things. These guys have range. You don't have to completely redo everything about it every time you do one of these things. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that went down some interesting trails that I did not anticipate. But I'm glad they did. I never said that this show would be places that you wanted to go, and so